1. Winter's Fire. Snow bears down on the petals of a lily. Though this is a weight, the flower stands strong. It's not too common that a flower can survive this long into winter, especially the winters of Aimheim. However, the power omnipotent is also omnipresent. It is an energy that flows through everything, living and not. And on occasion, when a particularly large amount of it flows through a single lone lily, that flower will persist through the winter. But the Aimian winter continues to try. Its winds travel throughout the kingdom, sapping the warmth from the Aimian citizens. They're used to this. The winter snow remains on its victims, ever present, like the thick white clumps that build atop the thick black braids of one Princess Jazmine of Aimheim. "Morning, Mumsummer," she says, standing outside the entrance to the Palace of Aimheim. A woman with chestnut hair tied in the same royal braids as the princess's hair smiles at her from the threshold of the palace's large open wooden doors. "Morning, Jazmine." Though Joe Lily speaks to her daughter with a gentle tone, her face tells another tale. "What's the matter?" Princess Jazmine asks. "Nothing. It was just a dream I had. Gave me a proper startle." "Oh yeah? What about?" But the Joe shakes her head. "You should know me better than that, daughter. I dwell not on dreams." The princess rolls her eyes. "Bang goes a good story, then." "I find the best stories are true to life." The Joe smiles. Then she asks, "Are you off to greet Riki, then?" "Aye. Took his time, though, visiting Aimheim again. We must remember, daughter, he's the King of Bladelheim now. He has lots of responsibility." The princess folds her arms. "Still, he rang me on the den before he left, said he would visit some Futsu settlements on the way here. That's a lot of faffing about for a king, if you ask me." "He did spend a year living among the Futsu people. Mayhap he's grown accustomed to that. I still feel a bit mucked. I told that bloody dastard when he left the first time to come back soon. It's been over a year and all." Joe Lily draws her daughter in and strokes her hair. "Worry not, Jazmine. He's on his way now, so you best be off." She smiles. "Right. You sure you want not to come? I'd love to see Riki again, but I've got a date with my wife." "Yeah? Mother someone taking you somewhere nice?" She raises a brow. "Just some royal duties we're going to fulfill together." "And that's a date?" Joe Lily points to her heart. "'Tisn't here." Then she looks past the princess. "And speaking of my wife..." Trudging through the thick snow, a woman with black royal braids approaches in a lackadaisical manner, but that changes upon seeing her wife and daughter. She wraps an arm around Joe Lily and kisses her on the cheek. "Good morning, my love." "Good morning, daughter." She tips her head to Princess Jazmine, and the princess returns the gesture. "Rough morning, Hannah dear?" the Joe asks the queen, seeing clearly through her carefully crafted smile. "You look a bit knackered." "Just some business down at the border. Nothing to worry about." "Right then," the princess interjects. "I'd love to chat the day away, but I've got to go greet Riki." "Oh yes," says the queen, crafting another smile. "I forgot that was today." She says this in the most neutral way possible. Princess Jazmine bows to her mothers and heads off. "What happened at the border?" the Joe inquires as she and the queen walk into the palace, down a corridor lined with large stone pillars that stretch toward the high ceiling. "Nothing important," the queen mutters. "Just something about a strange woman being sighted by a royal guard member, but I saw not anything odd." "A woman?" The Joe makes a face that her wife has trouble interpreting. Upon realizing this, she corrects to a more pleasant expression. "You need not worry, my love," says the queen, assuming worry is what the Joe was expressing. "The border's next to the Aimian forest, remember. 'Tis uncommon not to believe you've seen apparitions there, not to mention all the other things there. Is that not why we forbid entry at night?" "I'm worried not, Hannah. Just cautious, mayhap." "I've already received the guard members keeping an eye out." The Joe smiles. "Okay." The queen kisses her, and they go about their royal duties. As for the princess, she travels through Aimheim with a spring in her step, not at all affected by the cold. Passers-by greet her as they walk through Aimheim's snowy dirt roads, which are lined with lampposts that glow blue with the power omnipotent. And between every lamppost, there is a bright red flag with the Aimheim emblem on it. Princess Jazmine arrives at the Aiming forest and waits. With her folded arms and tight expression, one might think she had been kept waiting for days, but in only a few moments, a man with messy blonde hair emerges from the snow-covered evergreen trees. "Well, you took your time," says the princess with open arms. "Nice to receive your meeting too," says the man, hugging her with open arms of his own. "Look at you. You've gotten well used to hugs now, innit?" When the embrace ends, Princess Jazmine eyes him up and down, admiring his flexible bladed armor, the rapier sheathed at his right side, and the Aiming one sheathed at his left. "Riki Yamamoto," she says, "King of Bladelheim. No crown?" "'Tis rather impractical to wear a crown while travelling," he chuckles. "You walked not all the way here, did you? Give me not you telling me that's why it took you so long to get here." "Of course not. I was escorted by Kuruma." "Really? A nice one?" "Likely as nice as the ones in Fistelheim not, but it fulfills its purpose." The princess notices him staring at her massive scar. She often forgets it exists, but every now and then she will catch someone stare and remember the huge mark etched into the side of her face. "You'd better be about to apologize not," she asserts. "Never. You've made it quite clear that scar was my fault not." The princess smiles and unties an Aiming leather jacket from her waist. "Here," she says, handing it to King Riki. "You must be proper cold in your blading clothes." "And here I thought I was doing a good job at hiding it." He smiles and puts the jacket on over his blading armor, and the power omnipotent immediately begins to warm him. Princess Jazmine, of course, doesn't need such a jacket, as her royal white leather jacket is plenty warm enough. The pair of them walk through the kingdom, happily chatting away. "So tell me about the life of a king," says Princess Jazmine. "A lot different from your year among the Futsu people, I reckon." "Quite, yes. 'Tis exceedingly stressful. I've decided on keeping the slaves and the Futsu people in Bladelheim, though I know not still if that was a just decision." "And what do the blading citizens think of all that?" "There are mixed sentiments. I've heard claims that my decision has ruined some lives and benefited others. But the kingdom is slowly becoming more profitable, so mayhap I'm doing something right." "You'll figure it out, Riki. Sometimes change can be a hard thing to swallow." King Riki looks at his feet and shakes his head. "I know not how Father Summer managed, or Rakuni for that matter." "How is Rakuni anyway, since his fall from power?" King Riki looks at the princess quickly, and then back to his feet. "I locked him in the dungeons. 'Twas half planned and half impulsive. I intended not to leave him there, but I can bring myself not to talk to him. I know not why." "So he's been in the dungeons all this time?" "Aye, for over a year. I've spoken to him once not." Princess Jazmine puts her hand on his shoulder. "Give me a coming with me." "Where are we going?" "You never stop asking questions, do you? Come on, you." They walk down the snow-covered Aiming streets. On their travels, the passers-by change from Aiming nobles to Sakrana, tall, scaly fish people. "Quite a number of slaves around here," King Riki mentions. "They're getting ready to harvest," the princess explains, "since we're close to the water." The king has a smile on his face. He believes he's guessed where Princess Jazmine has taken him. When they arrive, his suspicions are confirmed. Before them shines a massive, sparkling waterfall, taller than any building in the kingdom, taller even than the 2 towers of the Palace of Aimheim. The waterfall expands into a huge lake that flows out into the beyond, where there is nothing but water. Princess Jazmine sits by the shore and taps the ground next to her. "Take a pew." King Riki sits down beside her and stares up at the waterfall. "Kyojin Falls. Do you remember when we jumped off it together?" "All too well. I recall it being quite cold. I went to the Masters of Zen's tavern while I was on my way here, and Devi, the owner, keeps telling me to come here during the summertime. I suppose it would be not cold if I did." "Well, it's your own bloody fault," the princess laughs. "If you'd just come straight here and taken not so many detours, mayhap you would have gotten here in the summertime." King Riki smiles. Mayhap. You're right, Git, you know. She pushes him playfully. What's a Git? Bet you'd like to know. I feel as though your Aimheim dialect has gotten stronger since last we met. She shakes her head. Nope. Mayhap your Bladian's become so thick that it blocks you from understanding other dialects. I travelled all over Darphopia last year, speaking with people with many different dialects. Which scenario do you think is more likely here? The princess doesn't answer. She's too busy taking off her royal jacket and tying it around her waist. Are you cold not? King Riki is shocked. I feel a bit warm, actually. Mayhap the weatherman's mucking about, says King Riki, putting on an Aimheim accent. The princess's expression is one holding back floods of laughter. 'Twas good not? I can give you points for using muck, she commiserates in a deadpan tone. While they laugh, King Riki removes his jacket too, and the snow around them suddenly doesn't seem as thick. So, any fun stories from your travels? The princess continues, given you visited everywhere else in Darphopia before here. Actually, I have yet to return to Fistelheim. Oh, I'm flattered, she says falsely. Mayhap on my way back to Bladelheim I'll visit. At least we've got dens now. Makes communicating a lot easier, says the princess. Mum just got one for the palace recently. They're proper useful. Aye. I invested in one for the Bladian Palace as soon as I had hearing of it. Tends to the future. I mean, letters are good and all, but the call to tell me you were coming was so much better than having to totally fly a letter over. I bet it helps you keep in touch with everyone you know as well, given how much of a worldly man you are. A den can help you keep in touch without having to drag your ass up and down Darphopia. Though I doubt many footsie people have the money for that kind of thing. I have not many footsie friends anyway. He shrugs. The den does help me keep in touch with you and Prince Tristan, though. You know, I almost met Prince Tristan summer once, Princess Jazmine mentions. Did you? Yeah. He came up to Aimheim with King Dairuseki summer for a bit, but I had a dance class to teach, so I missed him. I reckon we would have got on, though. We could have swapped stories about training you. She grins. I'd really rather you did not. King Riki's eyes capture what is to him an odd sight. Next to the princess, there is a lily poking out of the thin layer of snow. Flowers grow in winter here? He asks. Sometimes. Depends how strong they are. Then, something that neither of them is expecting happens. The lily spontaneously catches fire. They both shuffle backward in shock as a strong blue flame purges the flower of its life. Now that usually happens not in the winter, the princess says. A hissing sound envelops them, and steam lifts from the ground, revealing the grass underneath the snow. By the manners of magic, King Riki mutters. Then the grass, too, burns bright blue. Princess Jazmine rushes King Riki away from the fire. She takes the wand out of the holster at his side and points it toward the waterfall. She channels the power omnipotent into the brown lily-crested stick, and it crackles as a blue stream erupts from the tip. It shoots into the waters of Kyogen Falls and lifts a large ball of liquid to drop over the fire. The grass remains blackened, but the fire is extinguished. I knew not he could do that with a wand, King Riki says, as the princess returns his wand to him. What, you thought I taught you everything? She smiles. But the king is too busy to return the smile. What's that? He points to a figure in the distance, a misty woman draped in white. Her features become clearer as she approaches, slowly, disjointedly. Her hair is black and in tangles, her skin is blue and sickly, and the red of her eyes can be seen at any distance. Just as King Riki is wiping sweat from his brow, the woman shoots a scorching blue fireball at him. Princess Jazmine pushes him out of the way and readies her gun, firing blue shots at their attacker. But the shots seem to just vanish in the distance. The grass bursts into flames again, and the princess yells, "Come on, Riki! We have to go!" King Riki doesn't dispute. They charge back toward the center of the kingdom. As they dash through the kingdom, they realize that the scorching blue fire isn't just coming from behind, but from all directions. It's suffocating the kingdom. Crops burn, buildings crumble, and panic fills the streets. The Aimheim Royal Guard, with their distinctive red shades, stand ready to defend. They hold a perimeter, guns ready, to allow the citizens time to escape. King Riki rushes to shield an Aimheim man from some falling debris by channeling the power omnipotent through his rapier and blocking it. "Open fire!" yells a guard member. When King Riki and Princess Jazmine look, they see the Royal Guard firing in unison at the ghastly blue woman. She avoids a few shots with a speed that makes her look as though she is popping in and out of existence. However, Aimheimans are known for their incredible aim, and as such, she cannot dodge forever. But, though she is hit plenty of times, the attacks don't seem to be harming her as much as they should. "Princess Jazmine-sama, King Riki-sama, Yoreshku." A guard member stands before the two of them and quickly bows. "I must receive your coming with me. Aimheim has been compromised, and we need to escort you to safety." "What about Mom-sama and Mother-sama?" asks Princess Jazmine. "A guard member will find and escort them as well. Please give me your coming with me. We must leave." "I have a kuruma parked outside the Aimheim forest," says King Riki. "There is a Bladian guard member standing by with it. We could head there." "Perfect," says the guard member. "Give us your lead in the way."